with respect to the complaint. So the timeline for that is also by the 15th of December. Hopefully, the preliminary investigation will be completed. There is a schedule this afternoon, but I understand there was a request from one of the respondents to an extension, for an extension of time within which to file his counter affidavit. We will grant one extension. That extension will be for a period of 5 days. And then thereafter, if there are no other pleadings that will be submitted, those cases will be submitted for resolution as well. Now, updates on additional cases that were filed by the department. There were 3 cases which were endorsed to the Office of the Ombudsman last week, all of which also involved DPWH officials. Let me just check. Okay. These are also ghost projects, and these cases were already referred to the Ombudsman and returned back to us, and the department has been deputized to conduct its preliminary investigation on the same. Okay, this involves respondents who are contractors for these ghost projects, particularly Sims and Wow, Top Notch. Okay, and panels have also been created for purposes of conducting the preliminary investigation. We're expecting all the documents to be completed by the National Bureau of Investigation so that the subpoenas can be issued and the preliminary investigation can commence. As of yesterday, there were 4 other cases that were referred by the Department of Justice to the Office of the Ombudsman. This include ghost projects and plunder cases which were filed against former Congressman Zaldico. So for now, those are the status of the cases on flood control that we have. There are still ongoing cases which are being studied, evaluated, and where evidence is being gathered by the National Bureau of Investigation. As the days prosper, then we will be announcing also new filings. In addition, I'd like to say that there are cases which are ongoing for tax evasion, which have been filed by the Bureau of Internal Revenue as against contractors. And these cases are already moving now. We're just waiting for the final pleadings to be filed before the cases will be submitted for resolution. Okay, so if you have any questions on these cases, please feel free to ask them. What is the question? The names.
Who are the new respondents?
Well, the additional respondents include there is one case now which is ongoing, which includes a proponent, former Senator Bong Revilla. The other respondents mostly are the same DPWH officials, district engineers, sila Henry Alcantara, Bryce Hernandez, JP Mendoza. No, I don't have the complete list with me, but there are the new cases that have been filed also involve investigations on Zaldico, former Senator Bong Revilla, certain Jonathan So also is included. And then you have the same set of respondents from the previous cases. These are all Bulacan-based projects, but we cannot give the exact project ID on what projects these are. All these details are included in the records that are with the panel that is conducting the investigation. Sa Sims?
Yung kay Senator Bong po.
Yung sa kay Senator Bong, let me check. Wow and Sims, both cases, both contractors. Yes, because we already informed you before that normally when there are cases which are completed by the National Bureau of Investigation, if the same has been evaluated, before we start with the preliminary investigation, we endorse the matter to the Office of the Ombudsman. Reason for this is that in most likely these cases might end up being filed, if it will be filed, before the Sandigan Bayan. And we would need the clearance of the Ombudsman for purposes of filing it there. So we refer it to them for them to evaluate it as well. And then we are deputized to conduct the preliminary investigation. That is the reason why the cases have been brought back to the Department of Justice. I think that will be requested. That comes as part of the process already once the preliminary investigation commences. Okay. The subpoenas will be forthcoming. Like I said, we're just waiting for the documents to be completed by the NBI. This is just the physical copies because we have to furnish them copies of the records. So subpoenas will be issued. We're expecting that to be by early next week.
Zaldico as former congressman siya or Sunwest Corporation po?
As former congressman.
So he's also one of the proponents of the project in Bulacan?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Yes, that is the information that we received, that there was a request for an extension to file the counter affidavit. So the panel will act accordingly. They have already been given guidance on how to deal with it. We just have to see and await the results of the preliminary investigation today.
Kailan siya, sir, pwedeng mag-file ng kanyang counter?
If at all we have given a deadline, it will be for a very short period, about 5 days. From the date of the scheduled submission, which is supposed to be today. So count another 5 days within which for him to submit the same. Yes. If the question is, does it have to be at the exact time of the hearing? It doesn't have to be. No? If the question is, why shouldn't it be done that way? We believe that I think it is also the right of the respondents, not to be subjected to all this circus that will come as a result of his coming, pagkakaguluhan ng media. And the position of the department has been that even if we receive the counter affidavits not on the scheduled dates, it will not strengthen the case of the respondents, neither will it diminish the evidence of the prosecution. So it's just to allow them to be able to file it. There doesn't have to be much fanfare when the same is done. So if and when that request is made, then the department will act again accordingly. Okay, but well, that's good. So far, what we have are contractors pa lamang. Wala pa pong congressman na na-filean ng tax evasion cases.
Sir, tama no? So, yung company Senator Bong Revilla, since they already asked for an extension to file, naka-receive na sila nung copy nung complaint. So, even din po ba yung company Zaldico, they were already sent also the copy of the complaint or?
No, insofar as Zaldico is concerned, the cases were just brought to the Office of the Ombudsman. They will also be, once it is referred back to us and we are deputized to conduct a preliminary investigation on these cases, similar procedure will also be followed. They will be given copies of all the documents pertinent to the complaint, and they will be given and afforded sufficient time within which to file their counter affidavits. Yes, po.
We saw several other men arriving, pero mga nakamask sila. Sino po sila, sir?
Unfortunately, I did not see what you saw, so I wouldn't be in a position to say who these other people are, but definitely they will have to be probably other respondents who were directed to appear in today's hearing. Okay?
Ano po yung status ng application ni na Engineer Bryce Hernandez and J.P. Mendoza, and the status of the return of assets or amount to the
Of
DOJ?
both Bryce and JP, or you're
Apo.
talking about Alcantara?
And the balance of Alcantara, but also coming from Hernandez and Mendoza.
Okay, again, as far as the application of Bryce Hernandez and JP Mendoza, the same is still under evaluation by the those assigned by the Secretary of Justice to conduct an evaluation of their statements. So we cannot talk about any return of any assets just yet, no? That is only conditioned if, for example, they are already admitted into the program or considered, and that will be embodied in the Memorandum of Agreement. Now, assuming there is, until and unless the Secretary of Justice authorizes in writing the disclosure of this information, we cannot make any disclosure. As far as Henry Alcantara is concerned, he did in fact return 110 million last week. No, it doesn't follow that if he committed to return X amount, all of this will have to be paid, no, or have to be returned to government and turned over to the Department of Justice at a designated date. Hindi naman yan kasi kabayaran para doon sa kanyang pagiging or pagkaka-admit sa kanya sa programa. So it might come at a later time, but definitely, if and when that happens, you will be informed of the return, because we would want the public to know also that little by little, whatever assets we can get or we can return back to the coffers of government, the public is informed about it.
Thank you, sir.
Other matters.
Yes, other matters.
Sir,
Are we done with flood control?
No, flood control muna, sir. Yung NBI raid on two premises owned by SunWest/Saldico pursuant to dun sa bid rigging complaint ng PCC, will the DOJ be getting copies o meron na ba na turn over yung NBI from that raid?
I believe it's not a raid, no? It's the authority given to the NBI by the PCC to conduct an inspection. Now, when you say raid, it means that, or it presupposes that whatever you see there, you can already secure and confiscate. Ito po, ang kaibahan nitong inspection order is that they will be allowed to get into the premises, check whatever is there, photocopy whatever documents there are, but they cannot make any seizure. Any seizure of any items that are found inside this condominium units will have to be by virtue of a search warrant that will still be applied for. Now, if you're asking if there has been a report, we're still awaiting the report, as I believe the period that was given in the authority to inspect by the PCC is about 14 days. Yes. So it's still ongoing. We do not want to preempt whatever the results are. We'll just await as soon as NBI is good and ready to submit the report to us.
Sir, so yung Diskaya couple, sir, bumalik na ba ulit sila sa DOJ?
No,
May update
they have
ba
not.
sila?
They have not returned since the hearing of November 14.
Yeah, Attorney Polo, can the DOJ give us more details about the resignation of USCADis, if it's been accepted, and whether the DOJ plans to take any action on the information that he's linked to a contractor?
Yes, so as far as the DOJ is concerned, what we know is USCADis has filed or has tendered its resignation with the Office of the President, being a presidential appointee. But as to whether or not this appointment has been accepted or acted upon, we have no news yet. So he has tendered it, but no news yet on whether it was been acted upon. No, so that's what all we know for now. So we cannot give the definite date on when it was filed exactly. We're unsure because again, ang presidential appointee po kasi si USCADis. So this was directed and transmitted immediately to the OP, the Office of the President. The DOJ had no involvement with this matter?
I understand last Monday he reported back to work. No, he did. I think he's been continuously reporting. No? And as mentioned, no, whatever application for resignation was made was submitted directly to the appointing authority, which is the Office of the President. So we would not be in a position to state when it was actually made because it was not coursed through the Secretary of Justice.
The Office of the Ombudsman said they will also investigate the potential conflict of interest angle of USCADis. Will the DOJ be taking similar investigation or inquiry into that?
Well, it will all depend, no? It will all depend. We do not know what basis, if any, the Ombudsman would have to conduct its investigation. But certainly, as it is right now, as it stands, we're just awaiting if there would be any complaint that would be filed. Everything is based on allegations so far, on the statement and the videos that were presented. And until and unless there is a formal complaint, then that's time that the department can probably consider initiating any investigation.
Sir, the Ombudsman said the investigation is not related to Zaldico, but our report that found that his son is a DPWH contractor while he was undersecretary.
Well, in that particular case, we leave that to the discretion of the Ombudsman as to whether or not they will conduct an investigation on that aspect. Because as it is right now, department, like I said, if the concern is that there is conflict because of the position of Undersecretary Cadiz, no, here in the Department of Justice, it's you may as well be informed that insofar as all the investigations pertaining to flood control, Undersecretary Cadiz has never been involved and was not involved in any of it, as it is directly under the supervision of the Office of the Secretary. As far as ongoing investigations, preliminary investigations, evaluations, all of these are being done by the task force which I head.
Nabanggit din po kasi ni Ombudsman si Senator Jingo Estrada in an interview this morning. Kasama po rin po ba siya sa ni-refer from Ombudsman?
I believe that there is a case also which is referred pertaining to Senator Jinggoy. But remember, we have to make a distinction on the cases that pass through the department because we did our own investigation, as opposed to those cases which are directly filed with the Office of the Ombudsman as against these personalities. It doesn't follow that what cases are filed with them are known to us, no? Kami, pinapaalam namin lahat sa Ombudsman, but the entire universe of cases, no, as to who the personalities are who are involved, we are unaware, no, kung sino-sino ito. That's why, if you probably noticed, there are some pronouncements made by the Ombudsman, and I believe this is based on information that they have in their office. We can only make a pronouncement as far as those cases and those personalities, the investigations of which were coursed through the Department of Justice.
Sorry, balikan ko lang po yung Diskaya. Sabi niyo po November 14 po sila huling pumunta po dito.
No, let me correct you. I did not say that the last time they came here was November 14. November 14 was the last hearing of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee where we saw them. But even prior to that, I think 2 months prior to the hearing of November 14, they have not returned to the Department of Justice.
So can we say, sir, na hindi na din po sila nakikipag-coordinate sa DOJ?
Well, diba, it speaks for itself. If they have not returned to the Department of Justice since, more than 2.5 months, no, or 3 months already, we do not know if they will still be willing to cooperate or not. But of course, the Department of Justice and the Witness Protection Program is still open to evaluating any information that they may be able to provide if they do decide to do the same in the future.
Ano na po, sir, yung status ng application po nila sa WPP? Considered applying pa din po ba? Ano po?
No, kasi ang intindihin kasi natin, kapag halimbawa nag-a-apply sa Witness Protection Program, hindi naman ibig sabihin kasi niyan, pag nag-apply ka, agad-agad makakapag-desisyon ang WPSB kung admitted ka o hindi. Usually, nagsisimula sa kaalaman nitong mga nag-a-apply ng mga bagay-bagay patungkol sa isang krimen. No? And if the information is something which is reliable, if it is relevant, no? If it is going to be helpful to the case, that is the one that is going to be evaluated. So, next step would be statements would have to be submitted, no, to the department through the Witness Protection Program. And these statements will have to be screened and filtered very thoroughly. We'll have to check on details, and then probably there might even be a need for additional statements to be made. Then and only then can we evaluate whether or not there is basis to admit them into the program. Kasi hindi po sapat na magbanggit ka lamang, let's say for example, ng pangalan, pero hindi mo naman sinasabi ang nagiging basihan mo kung bakit mo binanggit yung pangalan na yon. Anong involvement niya? Bakit mo alam? Diba? Kung yan ay parte ng isang transaksyon, anong transaksyon yan? Kung ito'y flood control project, patungkol sa kung anong proyekto, bakit mo alam itong proyekto na to? Magkano ang pera na umikot dito? Magkano ang napunta sa kanila? Magkano napunta sa inyo? Okay? Those things will have to be screened very carefully. So we have to understand that the process is not as simple as somebody will come to the department Witness Protection Program, they will make an application, and right there and then it will be decided whether they will be admitted or not. It goes through a very tedious process. Hindi. Ang nag-i-issue po ng whole departure order is not the Department of Justice. So, if for example, it's a case which is filed by the Office of the Ombudsman, and if the case is one which is going to be handled by the prosecution arm of the Ombudsman, that would be the Office of the Special Prosecutor, then they will have to make that request before the court where it is filed. Now, if the Department of Justice is deputized to handle the case and to prosecute the same, then our prosecutors who will be appearing in the case will be the one to make that request before the court.
Any more questions?